We
Go ahead.
so we got so this is him lying on his side again. Anything black is air filled. So here's his airway. Here's his trachea come down where it branches to go to the different lung lobes. But his heart is very enlarged. It's pushing the trachea up and it's displacing this lung tissue. When we got him on his back, so this heart should not be going all the way from the chest wall over here to almost completely over there. He's got very little lung space, and so his heart is enlarged. Normally, with small breeds, they get an enlarged heart because they have a heart murmur. So when you mentioned that in Middletown, they said his heart sounds normal. It does sound normal. He doesn't have a heart murmur. But with dilated cardiomyopathy, which is a disease of the heart muscle itself, instead of nice, good contractions, it just kind of goes real, the contractility is very low. So rather than decent contractions, it has little contractions and it has to beat fast. So when I heard him yesterday, yeah, his heart rate was high, and now we know it's because of his heart disease, but there are other reasons why he can have a high heart rate also. But that's a very enlarged heart, and I was happy when she didn't find much else in his belly. I did mention that he had a couple little masses on his spleen, but that wouldn't cause it. She could prove with the ultrasound that the blood vessels going through the liver up to the heart were all dilated, including the blood vessels coming into the heart. So when the heart is not able to accept that much blood, the pressure builds within those vessels, and then the fluid component of the blood leaches out, and that's what gives you ascites. So we drained him. She got a lot of fluid, like more than a liter off of him, and so when we x-ray the belly, basically this is all hazy. It doesn't give us any good detail. It's because it's full of fluid. But his liver sits right under the rib cage. You can see some granular stool that's poop in his colon. But the rest of this haze, we can't say anything more than it's fluid. You did bring up his back yesterday. So in between each vertebrae sits a disc. And this is a normal disc space. This is one of the few. You start to see all this up here, and due to instability, the spine is fusing. So all these lumbar vertebrae are starting to fuse. So yeah, you could say that he has intervertebral disc disease, but that's definitely not what's causing this problem. It's his heart disease. So we're gonna get him on 3 medications. The most important one, called pimabendin, is going to help his contractility. Hopefully his heart, once you correct the diet, his heart will start to contract normal again. Most dogs, it does correct itself, and if it does start functioning again, then we don't have to give him diuretics. Diuretics are going to be what helps prevent fluid from accumulating in his belly. So if you can give me like 5-10 minutes or so, we can get him all set and he can go home. But I don't know what to tell you in terms of food, other than staying away from the grain-free foods. Okay. So yeah, they don't know what it is. You know, they thought maybe because those grain-free foods are being substituted with legumes, maybe the legumes have something to do with it. But yeah, as far as telling you why grain-free foods are associated with this cardiomyopathy, I don't think anyone knows.
I think it's certain brands that I've researched. It's like 13 separate.
Okay.
And the brand I was feeding him was on it.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, good to know, because that was on my list of things to ask you.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'll see if I can do any research later and find out something, you know, maybe it is brand related. I hadn't heard that though. But
yeah, there's some news, YouTube things that mention it.
Okay. I'd love to hear some research out of like a veterinary school where they say, yeah, these brands of grain-free are safe, but I haven't heard that yet. Yeah. So otherwise,
well, that's why I switched him, because when he does eat like grains from a dog food, he gets really bad
the itchy skin.
Itchy skin, and it tears up his back because he's constantly rubbing on the side of my couch or a chair or whatever he can to.
Yeah.
And he's been this way all his life. He's basically been on a grain-free, unless I grab a bag of dog food and don't pay attention that it's grain-free. But I try to.
Okay.
It doesn't happen very often.
Well, see what